So this is the mood. A cursing babushka. So yeah, we had a recent interesting experience, which was negative. On a protest, a comrade of ours got pepper sprayed in the face, in the eyes. So we realized that we were not quite prepared to deal with such situations. Like, we didn't know what to do. We got some water and then we sent him to the hospital. But it's the fact that we did not know what to do right away, and we were like kind of stunned and perplexed, showed us that we need to have a protocol in place. Whenever we go to protests, we now need to, use some of the tips that have been shared in the community, in the international community. And I do remember seeing a lot of those kind of posts during the Black Lives Matter protests in the States a few years ago. A couple of years ago, I don't remember when that happened. So I do remember seeing those posts and thinking like, well, I should probably learn from those, but I didn't. So, but now we've come up with a little bit of a protocol of our own, which is quite simple. Always carry a first aid kit on you. Make sure that you don't go somewhere alone or where other people don't know where you are. Try to wear indistinct kind of clothes, and maybe wear a mask. And it's a good idea to wear a mask anyway, because the pandemic is ongoing. Maybe some kind of headgear. If you have tattoos, maybe cover them up. Try to look as indistinct as possible, so that if something happens and maybe there are some allegations of you doing something, it's harder to prove. Try to not have your phone readily available to someone else in case somebody may want to seize it. Maybe save all your data on your computer or somewhere else, and maybe don't keep incriminating information or something that can be interpreted against you on your phone. And see if the contacts can be easily just like deleted if something happens. If maybe you're arrested, maybe you can quickly delete everything so that other people who are affiliated with you are not found. And that is, of course, kind of the worst case scenario. And maybe you want to even destroy your phone if it happens, but then you never plan for the worst case scenario. And so the lesson that we learned also is that things happen very quickly, and you don't get to use your cognitive brain. It's your amphibian or your reptilian brain that starts working right away. So it's best to have some kind of protocol in place where you can just all do the same thing, maybe practice it. Again, not to scare anyone, not to fearmonger, but there were a lot of experiences, negative experiences at protests all over the world, and with protests being on the rise recently all over the world once again, we need to know some basic things about safety. So again, don't go anywhere alone, or at least try not to, or at least keep someone who you trust in your contact list to immediately reach out to, and carry something to protect yourself. But carrying weapons is another risk that probably you don't want to engage in. So yeah, maybe pepper spray. But after this negative experience, I'm kind of hesitant to offer it now. But yeah, and of course, be careful, be vigilant, and hopefully nothing happens to you if you participate in peaceful protests. And yeah, a final note: protests are not the only way we can organize and communicate. Protests may be helpful, but in my opinion, they're overrated. So we should find other ways to organize and to speak our will. And yeah, but that is a topic for another video.